Hello, 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 Angel here. Welcome to, or back to my channel. Lovely to have you here. So today we're doing a hashtag my magical YouTube journey. I was tagged by Mystic Emzy, so thank you to Mystic Emzy for that. This tag was created by Starlight the Wild Witch. So we've got quite a few prompts to go through, and while I'm going through the prompts, I thought I would have a flick through of this beauty. This is the Tower of Northern Shadows. This was a pre-loved deck that I found on YouTube. No, I didn't do that at all. I found it on eBay. I think this is from 1991 or 1997. I'll put the date on the screen. And I've just got to say, I love this box. It totally reminds me of like a 90s video box, VHS. Do you remember VHS? I do. So yes, so this is the one I'm showing. I'm going to say that the actual cards were very pre-loved, and they're a bit scrinkly when they came. And they also had titles that had been stuck onto the top, onto the cards, which I was a bit disappointed about until I was able to pick them off. And yeah, and they were, you know, they look as good as new almost. So yes, that's that one. And depending on how far we get with the first deck, I've also got this one to show, which is the Folklore Oracle. This was a pre-order, and I think that these two decks are going to pair very well together. If we have time, we'll have a look at the end. If I remember, fingers crossed, toes crossed, arms crossed, that my brain is in gear and I remember. So we're jumping in with the first prompt, and that is, what is your channel name and what is the significance behind it? So my channel name is Feeding My Soul at 1212. The significance behind my channel name is that in 2016, I had my own major tower moment. My life imploded, and I made a promise to myself after that I was going to focus on doing things that fed my soul and filled my cup. Because pre-2016, I feel I wasn't doing that. I was, you know, going through the motions and possibly doing things that I felt made other people happy. So yeah, so that's the reason. A major focus now on doing things that really feed my soul. So, prompt number 2, what type of content do you create on your channel? So this for me is more like a documentation of my beginner witchy practice and my healing journey. That's what led me to this path. You know, using this path as a way to heal. So yeah, I haven't, what's the word I'm looking for? I haven't set out to teach anybody anything. This is almost just like me shouting into the void, and documenting my practice, sharing my experiences, sharing decks that I'm using, experiences that I've had with my decks, my beginner witchy practice. I share witchy content, art witchery content, deck walkthroughs, anything basically that feeds my soul, to be honest. Anything that I think, oh, somebody might be interested in that, or somebody might, you know, have some experience with that, or, you know, be looking for a video about that, or, you know, might be interested in that experience that I'm having or had, then I tend to post that kind of content. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm babbling. Probably am. Okay. Prompt number 3, what inspired you to start your channel? So, as mentioned, I'm on a beginner witch path, and a healing path. And in my real life, nobody knows about that side of me. And so this sounds really daft, but I just needed to say it out loud. I needed to say out loud that I'm a beginner witch. And YouTube felt like the perfect avenue for that, because it almost was like, you know, you're shouting into the void. I mean, obviously, I've said before, you know, we make these videos, but we never know who's going to be watching, really. So although you're sitting there watching this now, for me, I'm just talking to a camera. So for that reason, it was quite therapeutic just to be able to say it out loud. It was like a freedom, like a weight off my shoulders, like, wow, it was liberating. That's exactly what it was. It was liberating to actually say those words and to, you know, admit it to the universe. You know, here I am, this is me, this is what I'm doing. And it was just like, once I'd said those words, I was like, oh, wow, yeah, that was fantastic. So yeah, that kind of is what inspired it. This is it's kind of like a documentation of my. It's almost like a grimoire, really, a documentation of what my practice is and how it's developing and the experiences I'm having, basically. Prompt number 4: How long have you been a YouTube? How long have you been on YouTube as a content creator? So I started in October last year, and October for me, the 31st of October is the actual date that I moved from the UK to a different country. And this year, on the 31st of October, I'll be celebrating 17 years. Can you believe it? I can't even believe it myself. In a different country. And so the 31st of October has most definitely become that date that I really reflect over the year that's been, and that I set intentions for the new year. And that's the way it's always been since I moved from the UK to where I am now. So I think in October last year, I was kind of thinking, I really fancy, creating a YouTube channel. And just digressing slightly, when I first came to this country, obviously it's a non-English speaking country, and I joined a gym, and they were teaching Les Mills classes there, and I've always been interested in fitness, and I've always had it in the back of my mind I really wanted to be a fitness instructor. And I was taking a body step class one day, and you have that dialogue in your mind, don't you? And I was thinking, I really wish I could do that. And I always think that you've got this you've got like an angel on one side of your shoulder and a devil on the other side. And I don't mean like heaven and hell. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about that negative dialogue in your mind that says you couldn't do that. No, you definitely couldn't do that. You're no good. You're no good. You wouldn't be able to fix that. And the angel on the other side was like, of course you could. They're doing it. Why can't you do it? And so I was having that kind of inner dialogue in my brain, in my mind. And I was thinking, but my language is not very good. And I don't know if I'd be able to learn all the choreography. And I don't know if I'd be able to speak and to teach at the same time. And the angel on my other shoulder was like, of course you could. And it just that swung it for me, that the angel on that occasion that swung it for me. And I thought, yeah, I could do that. And so I booked myself on a course, paid it for myself, paid for it privately, and passed to become a Les Mills body step instructor. And after I'd done that, I spoke to the gym and got some classes, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. And then I was teaching body pump, body combat, CX work, Shabam. I then had some training to teach water aerobics, and it just progressed from there. So for me, where there's a will, there's a way. And so I didn't particularly know very much about YouTube video creation. Can I say that? But where there's a will, there's a way. And so I just thought, what's the worst that can happen? So I create a naff video and nobody watches it. So what? This is just for... this is to feed my soul and to fill my cup. So it was a long answer, but that's basically the answer to that prompt. Okay, prompt number 5. What are your hobbies outside of YouTube and your channel? Oh, that's a good question. I would say that my hobbies they're all very, very interlinked into what I do on my channel. I really do enjoy art. October last year, I think it was, or beginning of 2023, I can't remember. I decided that I wanted to get back into my art practice, which I did when I was much, much younger. So I've started with that. I would say that's a real interest. Reading, cooking good food with a nice glass of wine in my hand. I do really enjoy that. And that's a real, what's the word? Relaxing, wind down thing to do. That really really relaxes me. If I know I'm free on a Friday evening, I purchase some nice ingredients and make something nice to eat, and having that glass of wine in my hand whilst I'm doing it, and listening to some good music or something like that is a real treat. That's a real luxury for me. Any other hobbies? Not that I can think of. They are really, really interlinked into what my channel is all about. Okay, number 6, prompt number 6. Is there a new style of content you want to try? I don't think so, to be honest. Not that I can think of just now. I do have a lot of ideas. I'm going to show you this, which probably is, which should have been shown in later prompt. I have like a notebook, and that's a really great tool for my YouTube channel. I tend to, am I going the wrong way? No, I don't think so. Sorry, losing the plot. I tend to use my notebook to scribble ideas down, just random thoughts that I have about, you know, content that I could create. And if I'm having a bit of a dry moment where I think, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to create, I just go back to my book and I search the pages and I think, no, I don't fancy filming that. No, I don't fancy filming that. But this, oh, I fancy filming this. We'll do this. So it's all. I think this is a good tip to have this kind of book, you know, and you know. Obviously the ideas develop as well over time. If I write an idea down on one of the pages and I come back to it a couple of weeks later, I'm obviously in a different mindset, and you know that idea is kind of marinated in my mind, and it kind of develops in that way. And there's some ideas that I get that I want to film the video there and then. Yes, I want to do that now. So yeah. Well, I've kind of lost track of. I don't know if that was a good answer to that prompt, but I'm going to go with that. Prompt number 7, how do you plan out your content? That's kind of what I just was speaking about. I have my ideas in my book and I scribble them down, and I film what I want to. You know, this channel is feeding my soul, so there's no pressure on me to film, you know, to get content out. No. Because as soon as that thought process is in my mind, it's a chore, it's a must. And you know, life as an adult is full of musts and things you have to do. And, you know, I don't want my YouTube channel to become a task and something I've got to do. I've got to put out content. I want it to be fun, and, you know, I want to enjoy doing it. And that's what this channel was created for. So there we go. Prompt number 8, what are your tools of the trade? Well, obviously my book for my ideas, and planning out content, and developing content that I've been, you know, playing around with in my mind. My phone, a stand, and a ring light. Oh, and my production team. Did I mention them? Yeah. I'm going to put pictures of them here. They're actually quite lazy, to be honest, and I kind of do have to pick up the slack quite often, but, you know, they are around supervising most of the time and trying to give me direction at time. You probably hear them in the video sometimes. Okay, prompt number 9. As a content creator, do you experience burnout? If so, what does this look like for you and how do you recover from it? The answer is no, because I've already covered that as well, really. This channel is for feeding my soul and filling my cup. And as soon as it becomes a chore or a task, then, you know, then I just step away from it. And it hasn't happened so far. Knock on wood, it won't. And I don't think it will, because, you know, I don't feel any pressure to create content. This is a hobby. It's for enjoyment. And, you know, yeah, I don't want to have to put any pressure on myself. So this is just for enjoyment. So next prompt. Let's have a look here. Prompt number 10. Which video are you most proud of and why? I think I'm most proud. The video I'm going to say is the video that I went outside with my tarot deck and to the birch tree, to my outside altar. That was a major step for me to take that. That was a momentous step for me to go outside with a tarot deck. You know, taking in mind that nobody knows about my journey here with the tarot and my beginner witch path, and that took a lot of courage for me. It sounds quite daft, but it did, to actually go out in public. Not that there was people around me particularly, because I was in the forest, but still, you know, where I live, there are a lot of people. You know, they're very outdoorsy types of people. So I could have met somebody. And that took a lot of courage, and that was a new style of video for me. So that one I'm proud of, not because of the amount of views it has gotten or anything like that, just because of the step that I took and the courage it took for me to do it. So yes, so that was that question. Prompt number 11. Who inspires you within the Magical Pagan YouTube community? I think, to be honest, all new channels. Whenever I stumble upon a new channel, I subscribe to them. Now I'm talking about, you know, obviously tarot witchy related, because I think it takes, you know, a bit of gumption to decide to put yourself out onto YouTube. So whenever I find a new channel, I tend to just subscribe, and sometimes I even share their content on my channel and share their videos to kind of, you know, help some people along. Not that I'm saying that I'm a big channel. I'm not. I'm a dinky little channel myself, which I like. I like having a little community of people. I like catching up with everybody in the comment sections when they leave me comments, and I like it that it's, you know, quite a tight little community. I like that. I enjoy it. But I'm going to say that Simon at the Hermit's Cave, he really, really inspires me. I really enjoy their content. I enjoy their cosy, homely, very genuine content. I really enjoy Dawn Michelle's content. Molly Roberts, love her content. Morrigan the Crone. Let me have a thinky here. I didn't prepare for this question, and that was quite naughty because now my brain has gone a blank. I think I'm going to say that, and if I come upon anybody else, I will link them in the description box. Okay, so prop number 12. Are there any channels you would recommend? Well, definitely Molly Roberts if you're an art witch, definitely, because I think she's amazing. Morrigan the Crone, definitely. Mystic MZ, I would definitely recommend them. I would... well, obviously, Candy. Candy Soul and Soil. I obviously recommend their channel most definitely. Oh my goodness me, my mind has gone a blank. There's squillions upon squillions of fantastic creators out there, and I just cannot think. I'm going to put some names on the screen for you. Pang, 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 pang. There we go. Okay, prompt number 13. Do you believe there are misconceptions about being a magical pagan YouTuber? Yes, and I think a YouTuber generally. I think people think that, you know, we're what's the word? We're raking in the money here. I'm totally not. And if anybody else is, good on them. You do you, boo. If you're, you know, raking the money. As a magical creator and content, a magical pagan YouTube creator, are there any misconceptions? Maybe that people who aren't in this community maybe think we're on a bit of a scam to try and, you know, do readings and do love spells for you and get money out of you, possibly. I don't really know. I'm not really sure about the answer to that question, to be honest. Misconceptions. I would like to say that, you know, we're probably thought of as very woo, but actually I am very woo, so I don't think that's a negative. And, you know, I like being woo. Oh, look, Melusina. Yeah. Prompt number 14. What do you like or dislike about being on YouTube? I wouldn't say I dislike anything, to be honest. I'm going to be completely honest. If I suddenly dislike being on YouTube, I will take myself off of the platform. Because, as mentioned, this is for feeding my soul and filling my cup. And as soon as it doesn't do that anymore for me, then I will possibly be saying toodle pip and disappear. But what I do love about this is that, you know, I get to speak to people about things that we have in common, you know, things we enjoy, you know, tarot and witchy, the witchy path and the healing path, things that we are interested in and have in common. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy having that connection with people, which I don't have in my real life. So for that reason, I really enjoy this platform. The only thing I don't enjoy is maybe people that leave negative comments, and luckily, I'm very, very lucky. Look, a bison. I'm very lucky. I've only had 2 negative comments on my videos, and they are taken away straight away. I don't even engage with that kind of energy. I don't even think about that kind of energy. It's just, it's out of here, because life is too short, you know. And I think it's a bit like Mystic MZ said, that, you know, if I watch a video and I don't like it, then I just click off of it. I don't need to leave a nasty comment. Life is too short for that kind of stuff, you know. Let's just, can't we just get on? Can't we just, you know, get past this old of, you know, being nasty to each other. Really? I think we're all adults. I think we can do better. We can all do better. So I was brought up with, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. It's always worked for me. Okay. Prompt number 15. What are some of the struggles you face creating on this platform, and how do you overcome them? Some of the struggles I have, imposter syndrome, most definitely. However, like I mentioned, this is almost like, I'm just sharing my experiences here. I'm not trying to sell you a dream. I'm not trying to sell you a tarot deck. I'm not trying to sell you my experience. I'm just sharing, basically. And so I had to get over that imposter syndrome. And I do, sometimes when I pull cards on, if I'm doing a reading myself and I pull cards, the messages come to me like that, pang, 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 pang. But if I pull a card on here when I'm filming, the shutters come down and it's like, no, my intuition turns off and all the meanings go out of my head, because I suddenly feel that pressure that someone's watching that is thinking, well, that didn't make sense, and that's not what that card means, and I'm not trying to sell you readings. I'm not trying to read for you. I'm just trying to explain what the card means for me. And so that I've had to try and get over, I think. The language barrier. I do come from the UK originally, as mentioned, but I haven't lived in the UK for 17 years. I don't use English on a daily basis. In fact, I could probably go apart from speaking to my cats, you're a good girl, you're a good boy, do you want a treat, and are you hungry? I don't particularly speak English either at home because I live by myself. And so there are weeks go by that I don't use the English language. And so when I first started my YouTube channels, which you'll see in my earlier videos, honestly, I couldn't remember my words in English. So that's also a great thing about having a YouTube channel, that I get to use my English again. And it's like it was like a rusty bike at the beginning. And now I've kind of we do it, and hopefully it's kind of flowing and working a bit better. Squeaks a bit, now and again, and breaks down. But generally, my English has gotten better, I think. Fingers crossed. I'm promising nothing. But I do still forget my words very often. And there are times when I have to refilm, because I just cannot remember my words. It's terrible. And I don't know, it's possibly my age as well. I don't know. Anyway, hoo-ha. Moving on, prompt number 16. What is your opinion on monetization, paywalls, and other exclusive content? For example, Patreon and memberships. You do you, boo. I am personally a member of Dawn Michelle's Weaver group, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I would actually like to become a member of Molly Roberts' Patreon as well. And there are a couple of others, but until I win the lottery, I'm going to have to wait. But no, do it. If it works for you, do it. And you don't. It's all free. What's the word? I choose to pay somebody to be part of their Patreon. And if I don't want to be part of the Patreon anymore, then I just cancel my membership. Nobody's forcing anybody to pay any money to get exclusive content. So you do you, boo. Prompt number 17. Do you have any boundaries on this channel? Why or why not? Yes, I do have boundaries. I have a lot of boundaries in life generally. Where do I go from there? I don't feel comfortable showing my face on here, for instance. I like to be anonymous generally in my daily life, which is very difficult because of the job I do and the town that I live in. And so this sounds really silly as well, because now on YouTube, but I like being anonymous on here by not showing my face, by people not really knowing what I look like. And I'm explaining this badly. Obviously, I want to make that kind of connection with people, but I don't feel that me showing my face is an integral part of making a connection with people based on our common interests. I hope that makes sense. Prompt number 18. Do you have any current goals for your channel? I want to get back into my art witchery. That's kind of taken a bit of a pause since July, I would say, because of moving. some trips away and some unplanned happenings. So I'd like to get more into that and share that kind of content. I do have quite a lot of ideas in my Super Duper journal, witchy content as well. I would like to create some more witchy content. So watch this space. Prompt number 19. What are some of the mistakes that you've made and how have you fixed them? I tend to make mistakes on every single video, and I fix them by, what's the word? I fix them in editing, basically. So when I forget what I'm trying to say or forget a word, I put it on the screen. Because, you know, why not? If I waited or filmed until I got the best take and you know, said every word that I meant to say and explain things in perfect detail, well, you know, you'd still be here waiting for my first video, to be quite frank. So the way I correct any mistakes is editing. That works PG King, Jelly Bean, for me. Okay, problem 20. What are some of the ways your channel has grown since your first video? I would say that I have, what's the word? Allowed my personality to come forward more in my videos since the first video. It came through a little bit in the first video. I think my first video was the tarot tag to Marlena Sharissa. I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to put it on the screen. And you know, my, what's the word? My personality came through in that video, but the more I filmed, the more I've relaxed, and you know, I just, you know, I want to be authentic on this channel. I want to be authentic to myself, and I want to be authentic for anybody watching, and to make that authentic connection. So yes, that's that. Problem 21. Have you ever wanted to quit making videos? And if you have, then why? No, I have never wanted to quit. I film when I feel inspired to film, and I feel no pressure to film if I don't have any great ideas or if I don't feel motivated or inspired, basically. So that's that. Prompt 2022. What do you wish you knew before starting your YouTube channel journey? I can't think of anything. I'm a kind of fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl. Apart, you know, I write down my ideas, but apart from that, I wouldn't say I particularly plan very much. I like spontaneity, you know, do like a bit of spontaneity. I can't really answer that question, to be honest. What do I wish I knew? No, I'm lucky to say that I've had a really positive experience with YouTube. And I'm not, you know, I'm really happy that I've reached 600 subscribers. But I try not to focus too much on the numbers of how many people have viewed my videos or anything like that. It's just quite, you know, laid back, free and easy here, basically. So what you see is what you get. And I just enjoy being here and sharing, basically. So yeah. Point number 23. Do you post on any other platforms, and if so, why? I do. I have an Instagram account. My Instagram account is, or the link to my Instagram is in the description box if you want to join me there. You know, come along, join the craziness and the, you know, the bumpy ride. And let's look here. Sorry, I had to jump up and grab my cat, who was again leaping like a mountain goat from desk to desk here in this room. Yes, Instagram. So yes, join me on Instagram if you'd like to, if you dare. It's a bumpy ride over there as well, I promise you. Prompt number 24. Do you have any advice for those wishing to Do you have any advice for those wishing to create a channel? Yes, do it. What's the worst that could happen? You know, if you never do it, you'll never know. And the last thing I'm going to say about that as well is, I think the advice that I can definitely give to anybody is start where you are. Use what you've got. Don't buy any super duper nifty equipment. Don't, you know, pay out loads of money for a super duper camera and a super duper, you know, setup. Just use what you have. Do what you know, or do what you know until you know better. I'm going to say this, you know, it's a learning journey, I think, with YouTube. It's like with everything in life. The more you do something, the more experience you gain, and you know, the wiser you become. And that's what this is all about. You know, I mean, I think as long as we're not, you know, creating hate content or, you know, I'm just saying that, you know, it's a YouTube video, and you know, if people don't like videos, they can click off of it. That's the worst that can happen. And you know, the next time that, you know, not you, but one makes a video, they'll hopefully have learned something from the previous video they've made. Some tips and some tricks. So do what you know until you know better. So yeah, that is my advice for newbies. But I would say do it. Do it, most definitely. Get yourself a YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. And I'd also say, actually, you know, decide where your boundaries are. Don't let any, you know, Tom, Dick or Harry, any nincompoop come in, you know, into your space. It's almost like, you know, your YouTube channel is your home. And if you wouldn't allow somebody to come in and, you know, stamp muddy feet into your home, then you don't allow people to do that on your YouTube channel or YouTube, you know, videos either, in your comment section. So have some boundaries, I would say, as well, of what you're willing to accept and not accept. And I never feel, what's that word I'm looking for? I never feel that I have to reply to negative comments. That's one of my boundaries that I set from the beginning. So those kind of comments are, you know, deleted straight away. Went off on a tangent there. I think we're done and dusted. What do you think of these two together? What do you think of this one? What do you think of these two together? I think they're showing definite potential. But, I mean, you know, I don't know because I haven't worked with it yet. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to having a bit of a play with these two together. Love this. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think of the decks? Do you have this deck? Have you worked with it? What do you pair with it if you have got it? I would like to know because I'm a nosy Mowgli. Yeah, thank you so much for spending some time with me. As usual, I really appreciate you supporting the channel and supporting me and coming along for this bumpy ride, which, you know by now it usually is bumpy. Yes, but I'm going to wish you a morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care, feed your soul every day in any way possible. And I really hope to see you on the next video. Toodaloo.